the day. This is Miss Tabassum. Today I am here to revise Roald Dahl's The Landlady. So let's get started. Here we have the characters of Roald Dahl's The Landlady. The very first one is the landlady. She is 45 to 50 years old and had a round pink face with gentle blue eyes and is the host of Bed and Breakfast. Next we have Billy Weaver. He is 17 years old and is a guest to the landlady. The porter is a very minor character to whom Billy Weaver asked if there was a hotel nearby, and the porter suggested him to go to the Bell and Dragon. Christopher Mulholland was 17 years old and a Cambridge undergraduate. He was killed by the landlady and stuffed by her. Another character is Gregory W. Temple, and he was 28 years old and stuffed by the landlady after she killed him. Summary of Roald Dahl's The Landlady. The Landlady is a dark and terrifying tale of a 17-year-old Billy Weaver and his encounter with a mysterious landlady of a guest house. Billy reached Bath, a city in southwestern England, about 9 o'clock in the evening. The weather was very cold. After reaching, Billy asked the porter where he could lodge for a night's stay, and the porter told him about a place called the Bell and Dragon. Billy started walking towards the Bell and Dragon when he encountered a bed and breakfast. While Billy prefers the idea of staying in a boarding house, his eye is caught by a bed and breakfast sign in the window of one of the rundown houses he passes. He is also transfixed by the scene inside the house. He can see a parrot and a dachshund resting in front of a fireplace. He decides that he should look at the Bell and Dragon before making up his mind. However, he finds himself strangely hypnotized by the sign in the window. Upon investigating, he considered the accommodation to be promising, so he approached the door. Billy rings the doorbell and is met almost immediately by a pleasant-looking, middle-aged woman. While not introducing herself, she greets him warmly and invites him in, telling him that she has not had a visitor for a long time. She offers him a room for lodging, and Billy decides that while she seems a little eccentric and at the same time seems oddly overjoyed to see him. After a discussion about the surprising lack of customers and the landlady's particularity concerning who stays at her establishment, the landlady showed Billy his room. After showing Billy his room, the landlady asks him whether he would like some dinner. Billy tells her that he was not hungry and would prefer to go to bed early. The landlady then asks Billy to sign the guest book in the living room first. When Billy opened the guest book, he noticed that only 2 other names were written down: Christopher Mulholland and Gregory W. Temple. Billy feels certain that he has heard about these 2 names before, and moreover, the names are somehow connected. Finally, he recognized the names, but he struggled to recall where he had heard them. However, when Billy asks the landlady if her two previous guests were somehow well known, she demurs. She does, however, tell Billy that the two boys were about the same age as him and rhapsodizes over their charm and handsomeness. The landlady distracted Billy by offering him a cup of tea. However, Billy considered the tea's smell to be peculiar. The tea, which has an odd bitter taste reminiscent of almonds. He also notices a strange smell about the landlady herself. It was not in the least unpleasant and it reminded him, well, he wasn't quite sure what it reminded him of, whether it was of pickled walnuts, new leather, or was it the smell from the corridors of a hospital. As Billy and the landlady sat and sipped their tea, Billy noticed that the pet animals that he had previously seen in the building were actually taxidermy. Billy admired the landlady's taxidermy skills. During a lull in the conversation, Billy asked if there had been any other guests since the two mentioned in the guest book. Then the landlady told Billy that he was the only new guest and that the two guests, Christopher Mulholland and Gregory Temple, still lived in the building. The story implies that the landlady may have killed and preserved the bodies of the previous two guests and that she plans to do the same to Billy. Now, here we have reference to the context. They are on the fourth floor, both of them together. Who said this and to whom? Answer: the landlady said to Billy Weaver. Who are they referred to? Answer: here they refer to Christopher Mulholland and Gregory W. Temple. How did the speaker describe them? Answer: the landlady described the previous two guests as incredibly handsome. Answer the questions. Number 1. Who is the author of The Landlady? Answer: Roald Dahl is the author of The Landlady. Second, how old is Billy Weaver? Answer: Billy Weaver is 17 years old. Third, where did Billy Weaver reach at about 9 o'clock in the evening? Answer: Billy Weaver reached Bath at about 9 o'clock in the evening. Fourth, what compelled Billy to stay there? Answer: a printed notice that said bed and breakfast fascinated Billy and compelled him to stay there. Number 5. Describe the landlady's appearance. Answer: the landlady was about 45 or 50 years old. She had a round pink face and gentle blue eyes. Next, how many entries were there in the guest book? How old were the entries? Answer: there were 2 entries in the guest book and were 2 and 3 years old respectively. 7th, what did the landlady offer Billy Weaver? Answer: the landlady offered Billy Weaver a cup of tea. 8th, what was peculiar about the landlady's pets? Answer: the 2 pets, that is, the dachshund and the parrot were silent and motionless all the time since Billy's arrival. Here we come to the end of the chapter. I hope you well understood the lesson. Read the chapter very carefully and also read the question answers, in-text questions and reference to the context. If you have any queries, feel free to ask me. Thank you. Have a great day ahead.